Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. Do you know what we did yesterday? Now you're all thinking, did you go to a park? Did you eat at a restaurant? What we did yesterday was we completed 300 verses of Bhagavad Gita. 300 verses, 400 more to go. When we measure this quantity in terms of verses, it doesn't seem like so much to share the magnitude of what we've done together. How many of you were in the Bhagavad Gita course with me some years ago? Others were, you've just forgotten. The Bhagavad Gita course, I spread out over 2 years, so that total is 64 hours. The entire Bhagavad Gita in 64 hours. For all of us, we've already invested 90 hours, and we still have 400 verses to go. We love Bhagavad Gita. And because we love Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna loves us. That's what we did yesterday. We invoked and evoked love. Chapter 7, Shri Krishna is encouraging us to not intellectualize, rather to internalize. From jnana to vijnana. In verse 15, he describes searchers. In verse 16, he describes seekers. In verses 17 to 19, he describes saviors. I may be a searcher today, but I should evolve to become a seeker, and that's not enough. It is lovely to be a seeker, but the ends is to be a savior. Yesterday in our parenting culture workshop, I was sharing insights into results. Those who live by results are searchers. Those who live by responsibilities, they are seekers. Those who don't live by anything, as in they're independent, they are saviors. For many of us, joy comes when our plans are fulfilled. Agreed. Like I like when Wi-Fi is clear. Recently, I had some trouble with Wi-Fi, and I was working hard not to be rattled by that. Yes, because I should be independent of that too. Should I make that your application today? No Wi-Fi for 24 hours. It's not working right now. We didn't hear you. In verse 20, Shri Krishna is sharing what makes us devolve. Savior can't devolve, but let's say from a seeker to a searcher, it is kama. It is desire. During our pause, I had gone on a date. Now, all of the people who are new are thinking, with who? With myself. And I went to see the movie, Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore. How many of you have seen this? Okay. What was really cool about this movie is they're trying to decide the next master. So they have this entity, it's spelt Killin, but it's pronounced Chillin, and it's like a deer. And this deer is able to gauge the purity of a personality. And that Chillin goes and bows down to whom should be the next master. I'm connecting this to verse 20. Those who are pure are finding peace within, so they are not lost to desires. Those who are impure within. I'm not describing a gender, I'm not describing a religion, I'm talking about how loud one's mind is. They're not finding peace within, so naturally, they have desires that flow through the mind as thoughts, which flows through the body as actions towards sense objects. Sense objects. When we think of sense objects, we typically restrict this to food. The cake I eat, the soda I drink, and so on. Sense organs are symbolic for articles like Wi-Fi, circumstances like vacation days, and even beings. One's parents, one's grandchildren. We have to open up our concept of desire. A desire is a dependency that is not on the self. If you reflect on your life, whether you're 20 or 40 or 60, have sense objects made you peaceful? Have articles, beings, and circumstances stayed in your life forever? They haven't worked in the past. It's not working in the present. Why do we think it's going to work in the future? This very practical reflection that there cannot be peace through sense objects or articles, beings, and circumstances helps me to have a more functional relationship with the A's, B's, and C's. And that's why Sri Krishna uses words like niyamam. Niyamam is your active commitments, what you do. This becomes prakritya, your nature. If you live independently today, there is a higher chance you will live independently tomorrow, next week, next month. And that's why I pose to you, are you going to be enlightened in this lifetime? Those of you who didn't have your hand up, it's because you're thinking of the next lifetime, which means you're not thinking of today. Sri Krishna continues about how supportive he is. Whoever you are, he supports you. Verse 21. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shraddhayarchitum ichchati tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidadhamyaham. Yaha yaha yam yam, whosoever in whatsoever, tanum, form, whosoever in whatsoever their form is. Form of what? Bhaktaha, how they are. This is the technical translation. Sri Krishna sharing in a simpler way, whatever bhakta one is, searcher, seeker, savior. I like this word, tanum. Tan means body. Very philosophical. Let me open this up a little bit. Whether one is a searcher, seeker, or savior, this is based on one's evolution. And everyone's evolution is different. Unlike an SAT score or an ACT score that is highly measurable, how can you measure one's evolution? Everyone's evolution is different, which means everyone's engagement is different too. For those who are more evolved, Bhagavad Gita is their only purpose. For those who are less evolved, Bhagavad Gita is also their purpose. Evolution differs. Engagement differs. The practicality of this is for us not to divide people based on these differences. We shouldn't divide people based on their skin color, correct? Skin color is different. It is not to be a dividing factor. Evolution is the same way. Shraddhaya architum ichchati. They are a bhakta, ichchati. So they have a desire. Desire for what? Architum. How to express their bhakti. What is the texture of this devotion? Shraddhaya, with faith. A searcher and a seeker both have desires. They both have desires for joy, and they're both doing this with faith. Think of those who work 70-hour weeks professionally. Aren't they faithful towards their profession? And conversely, those who wake up at 4 a.m. to practice contemplation, they're faithful also. The practicality of this quarter, to be a bhakta is not a casual affair. Shraddhaya means with faith. The definition of Shraddha means to hold on to. Obviously, meaningful mornings is not about having more faith in one's secular life. We already have that. The implication is to have more faith. Hold on to your sacred life. Not casually, in a committed way. Tasya achalam shraddham. This faith of one who is a searcher, but more so a seeker, Sri Krishna is sharing that he supports this to become achalam. Achalam means unmoving, unbreakable, unstopping. Now he's sharing that he's supporting this. And I'll get to this quarter shortly. But for those who are reflecting, how have we become a searcher? How have we become a seeker? Our actions trigger our words, which triggers our thoughts, which triggers our desires, which triggers our prints. Everyone sees this connection from vasana to karma. So our actions affect our prints affect our actions. So is Sri Krishna supporting us? The last quarter. Tam eva vidadhami aham. I am the one who makes this faith strong. Sri Krishna is sharing here that he is not taking up this role of the creator. He is taking up the role of consciousness. That's the narrative he's speaking from. Consciousness will support those who are searchers. Agreed? Consciousness will support those who are seekers. Let me give you a visual. For how many of you is it sunny outside? For a lot of you. Now, the sun is shining where you are living. It's also shining in the place next to you, correct? As you're engaged in meaningful mornings, and the home next to you or the place next to you, they're all sleeping. You're a seeker. And so the sun is supporting you. For those who are searchers, the sun is supporting them too. The implication of this: be careful about your lifestyle, because your lifestyle becomes your ego, and your ego becomes your lifestyle. Let us not be fatalistic. Let us not deflect that I am who I am because of Sri Krishna. I am who I am, action by action, word by word, thought by thought, desire by desire, print by print. Clear? So many implications. We can evolve. What is the summary from this? If I am careful with my actions, I can evolve to be a searcher. I don't know why I'm so confused about these words. I should stop with the alliteration. I can become a seeker. I can become a savior. Final thought. Yesterday, one of the teachings from the verses was, in terms of our desire for sense objects, instead of engaging these desires, to watch them. If you watch, you're not possessed by that. Here's another practice. It's called parivartana, which means to substitute. If I have a desire to watch a certain show on Netflix, and that's not going to help me at 8 a.m., so I should substitute that by watching a discourse by Pujya Swami Tejomayananda or something like that. You're getting my point. This is a practical way of changing our actions, words, thoughts, desires, prints. From inspiration to application. Yesterday's application was to live without one of your sense organs. One of our sense organs is the internet, isn't it? That's our sixth sense organ. How many of you tried this? Good. Whatever our sense organs do, it is functional. Eating, seeing, etc. The functional is not built in with peace. So instead of investing so much in the sense organs, try to invest in that which is behind the sense organs. That is the fundamental. What is built into that is peace. Your application for this morning, I want you to keep a mirror with you. Keep a mirror with you. When you smile at that mirror, what will it do back? When you frown at the mirror, what will it do back? Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be joy.